Alright lads, the title of the video should make it pretty clear what today's talk is going to be about, so let's get into it. No Nut November. You know what it is, you know what it's about, and you know why people do it. This movement struck the entire planet a few years ago and has now become a yearly tradition for all of us men who are interested in self-development and increasing our discipline. And I kept seeing videos about it this year, so I decided to give it a try. Side note, I mainly saw videos on the benefits of doing No Nut November by a guy named Rob Mulder, who was a massive part of the reason I decided to take on the challenge, so massive shout out to him. You should go check out his channel and subscribe to him, because he seems like a really genuine dude, and he's probably why we're all here now. Alright, so before November this year, the longest I'd gone without cranking it in the past 10 years was probably like 3 days. This November, however, I went 14 days without nutting, which is insane. To think I could actually go that long without busting one out is damn near preposterous, but I did it. However, brothers, I wasn't strong enough to go the full month this year, and I ended up caving into my desires on the 15th day. I'm admitting this because if I lied and made out like I was still going strong, I'd hate myself. I'd be a contemptuous lying fraud, not unlike many YouTubers actually, but I won't lower myself to that standard. Now, although I failed to go the full month, I still went a substantial amount of time without caving in, and I can tell you that I definitely noticed some huge positive improvements as a result of abstaining for so long. So despite the fact that I ended up failing to go the entire length of November without nutting, fucking birds. Despite the fact that I ended up failing to go the entire length of November without nutting, I still want to share my experience and talk about the benefits I found from doing NoFap. So let's just get into it. First off, I had a lot more energy, like a whole lot more. I'm talking levels of energy that could rival that of Gary Busey on meth and coke at the same time. I went harder with my workouts than I ever had before. So hard that if I kept it up, in 6 months to a year's time, I would have been built like a goddamn Greek god. And it definitely had something to do with the fact I hadn't nutted in so long. Let me give you a rundown of what my workouts looked like the couple of weeks where I didn't nut. So Monday, I had a 45-minute Muay Thai session where I hit the pads with my trainer, practiced leg kicks, practiced some knees, and did some upper body workouts. After that, I went home, did 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 squats, a 2-minute plank, then went and did interval running for 40 minutes. I think it was like 8-minute runs with 4-minute breaks between for 40 to 50 minutes. On Tuesday, I went for another 40 to 50 minute run. This time it was 8 minutes and 30-second runs, 4-minute breaks. Then right after, I went and trained at my gym again, doing a cardio session where me and a bunch of other guys rotated around the room doing various exercises non-stop for 45 minutes. It was only 25 minutes for me that night because I was late due to me underestimating how long it would take me to walk back to my car after my run. Then after training at the gym, I went home and did a core workout for 40 minutes. Thursday, I went on another 40 to 50 minute run. This time it was 9 minutes and 30-second intervals with 5-minute breaks. Then another cardio session at the gym, the full 45 minutes this time, by the way. Friday was sparring for 45 minutes, which, by the way, was definitely the most exhausting of all the workouts I'd done. Getting smacked in the head multiple times for 45 minutes definitely takes it out of you. And then on Sunday, I went and ran for about an hour, doing 10 to 11 minute intervals with 5-minute breaks. Before I stopped jerking it, I just didn't go this hard. And there's no other reason I can think of besides me not jerking it that could have caused me to have so much more energy and motivation. I've got demons, sure, which is a massive motivator, no doubt. That and the sweet taste of vengeance against my enemies when I eventually run into them and give them the American History X treatment. I'm just kidding. Kind of. But I've had demons for years now, and I've had thoughts of revenge for years now too, and it's never driven me to go this hard working out before. So, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it sure seems like keeping my nut to myself caused that sudden boost in energy within me. Another thing I've noticed, and this is still something I'm aiming for even though I've failed No Nut November, is I'm a lot more driven to try and meet girls. Well, not exactly meet them yet, because I'm still intimidated by them, but I've become much more motivated to make myself less intimidated of them by making myself interact with them in low-stakes situations. For example, I've made it my goal for this week to try and make good eye contact with cashiers I find attractive. Normal eye contact, not creepy or lingering eye contact like a fucking weirdo. And then try and make some small talk to ease myself into it and gradually become more comfortable interacting with women. And if they don't reciprocate, then it'll be hell to pay for them and everyone else in their store. No, now that really is a joke, and I don't want incels in the comments, so please understand that it's just my dark humour, and there will not be hell to pay at all for anyone. Anyway, learning to interact with girls when you're new to it and kind of awkward is a slow process. I easily get hooked by my negative thoughts, but in the end, successfully interacting with girls is a skill like any other, and it's a skill I can definitely learn. I'm also far more motivated to learn how to talk to girls now. Hell, I'm even actually thinking about approaching girls. And that's a huge step for me, because not even a few months ago I could not have ever fathomed me doing something like that. Now it seems like something tangible that I could actually do, and the only thing I can think about that's led me to start thinking about doing these things is not jerking it for so long. Even though I failed the challenge, I still have that drive within me to try and meet girls. The next thing I've noticed is I'm far less anxious. This was like the first thing I noticed after only a couple of days. I'm not sure what the actual psychological mechanisms are for this, but I'd guess it was partly because my dopamine was being reset, and partly because I consciously or unconsciously felt less shame towards myself because I hadn't cranked one out in a while. And this anxiety relief definitely had a positive impact on me and what I felt comfortable doing. I started running out in public, which was pretty big for me. I usually just run out in the pines right next to the farm I live on, because there's no one out there and it just goes on and on for miles and miles. I also record most of my videos there, as I don't want my family to overhear me recording these and think I'm talking to myself like some kind of psycho. But, as of me attempting No Nut November, I've run up a path that is right next to a busy road, goes past a rowing club, up to a dock where heaps of people are sometimes, and then back. I've also gone for a run on the beach where even more people were, and I felt good while I was doing it. Before I started NoFap, I would have been way too anxious and self-conscious to run out in public where there was people who might judge me. The day I ran on the beach, before I took off running, I was a tiny bit hesitant. My head was telling me that if I ran in front of all these people, they'd think I looked stupid and judge me. But then I remembered that no one actually cares, and the only way over that fear was to do what I was afraid of anyway and go run. And so I did. And nobody cared. Nobody gave me any judgmental looks. Nobody pointed and laughed. Nobody did anything negative. In fact, everyone I had an interaction with was actually pretty friendly. Just a few months ago, I wouldn't have even dreamed of running out in public like that. But if I ever did, I likely would have started thinking stuff in my head like, all these people probably think you look stupid. You should just stop now before you make yourself look like an idiot. Or, you shouldn't be doing this, you look dumb. All these people are probably judging you big time. Now, I just felt a bit anxious for a minute, but pushed through it and then I felt fine. Those are the three major things I noticed after not busting a nut for 14 days. And that's pretty amazing, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, it was very hard to not just whip out my phone and chuck on some Rose Monroe, Layla Starr, Mini Tina, or Canella Skin and give up the challenge, which I eventually did anyway. But the more I think about the benefits I experienced after such a relatively short amount of time, I'm more motivated to keep trying to abstain than to dive back into looking at naked, thick women online. I just think, imagine if I could have that level of energy, motivation and drive more often. What things would I push myself to do that I'd usually be too scared to do? What other positive changes in my mood would come about? How far could I actually take this? These are just some of the things that I think about now. And here's some food for thought that I just wanted to chuck in as a kind of motivator to keep doing No Nut November and not watch porn. Bro, if you watch porn, you're basically getting virtually cucked. You're an e-cuck, for a lack of a better phrase. Do you really want to be an e-cuck? Sitting in your virtual chair in the corner while you watch strangers get freaky online? I know I don't. Anyway, I'll probably make a full video about why I think porn's bad in the future, so I'll save my thoughts for then. I just thought I'd add this in as a little extra motivation for whoever's watching. I didn't really think this NoFap stuff was true, but from my own personal experience, just from 14 days of no jerking off, I think what all these self-help YouTubers say is actually right. You want more discipline? Stop jerking it. You want to be more confident with girls? Stop jerking it. You want more energy to pursue the things you're passionate about? Stop jerking it. Honestly dude, just give it a try. It's hard, that's definitely true, but you may find that once you've gotten into the habit of not compulsively touching yourself every day, you might feel like I did and feel more motivated and driven to go after what you want. So there you have it. That's my experience with not jerking off for 14 days straight. I've seen the positive effects it can have abstaining from doing that, and I'm sold on it. And hey, even if you don't experience the same positive things I've experienced with not jerking off, I think you will, but everyone's different, and I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for certain. At the very least, you will have increased your self-discipline exponentially, which is a great thing in itself. So, that's about all I had to share about my experience with no fat for 14 days. I hope this video motivates you to do the same and try it out. If you like the video, like it, and if you want to subscribe, then subscribe. Good luck, my brothers.